All right, if we're looking at right angles, we're supposed to know certain things. Got 4 right angles, that was 1. What else? Diagonals are congruent. What else? Diagonals bisect each other.
Yeah.
What else? What do I know about the top and bottom?
They're congruent.
The top and bottom opposite sides are congruent. Left and right opposite sides are congruent. All that stuff.
Can you do this like this right here? Because you know that, like just like the angles, the opposite side is right. If you like, see how that's a 90-degree angle up there?
Mm-hmm.
So that means D is a 90-degree angle.
Yes.
And then C would be 90.
Yes.
90,
All of that will work. Yes.
Okay.
Once you have one, you know it's a parallelogram. If you've got one right angle, you've got 4. All right. What I want to get to is look at what it's telling me. BE, this part right here, is 12.7.
Okay, so
I can figure out all the rest of that stuff on the inside if I know the rules for rectangles. But if we go back to the rules for rectangles, what do I know about all those pieces inside? All of them have to be the same. The diagonals are the same to start with, and then when they cut them in half and bisect, they're going to be the same.
So all of them.
So every one of those pieces on the inside has to match. So ED is the same, 12.7.
But BD isn't.
All right, so BD is the whole thing. Well, how do I find the whole thing?
Yeah, just add it up.
I just add those 2 pieces that I already have. 12.7 and 12.7, 25.4.
25.4.
All right, what about AE then?
12.7.
It's got to match because it's a rectangle. EC,
12.7.
it's going to match because it's a rectangle. And then AC is the whole thing, and it's got to match BD.
25.4.
25.4.
That's it.
All right, in the second one here, it gives me the whole thing, the whole diagonal. So that's 22. Well, then that means each one of these pieces inside, which I know
It's 11.
are still cut in half. If the whole thing's 22, each one of the individual pieces inside there has to be 11. And then ENP is another diagonal, so it would have to match the MO diagonal that they gave us. All right, so if I'm looking at this right here, and I see that this corner right here is 100, what do I know about that corner right there?
That's equal.
No.
43.8.
That one right there.
I know that's 100.
That one right there added up is going to equal
80.
what? 80.
This whole corner is going to be 80.
80.
All right, because consecutive on parallelograms has to be 180. So if this is 100, that's 80. So now I know this whole corner is 80. Well, in order to find X, I'm going to say 80 minus the 43 that's already there. So X would be 37.
Then that means the other one equals 82.
Does it?
No, because see,
This whole corner would equal 80, sure, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Y. So look at this.
Add up.
Pretend I'm looking at my triangle. I've got an X, 100, and a Y.
X is 37.
I know X is 37,
Equal 180, so that's
so I'm going to take that out and put in 37.
And both those added up together is going to be 137. So 137 minus 180 is 43.
Now I want somebody to point something out to me right here.
You can swap them. Like
Yeah.
swap.
See the
So that
43
other
on
one
this
would be-
side is
What kind of angles are 43 and Y?
opposite?
Alternate interior. What's the rule for alternate
They're
interior?
the same.
They have to be equal. So once I find, or once I see this one, I automatically know what that one is.
And then the other one's 36.
And then I can do that that way. All right, so do that second one over here. See if we can get it. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what that whole corner is right there. If this corner by itself is 62, I'm going to do 180 minus 62, and that's going to tell me that whole corner right there is 118. So now I know that this is 118. How does that help me find the X right there?
118
Subtract 53.
minus 53.
That's gonna be X.
So X is now 65. And if X is 65,
That means Y.
Y is gonna be 65 also, because those are the alternate interior. What's another way I could have found that Y?
Add up 53 plus 62.
All of them equal.
And then that
I've
equals
got me a
180,
triangle
and then
right
X
here.
is the same.
53 and 62 is 115. Do 180 minus 115. That tells me what Y is. And once I know Y, then I would know X. Both ways will work. All right, what kind of figures are these? What kind of figures are these?
No parallel.
Parallelograms. What is the rule for the diagonals on parallelograms?
They're all congruent.
No, they are not.
No.
They are on a rectangle, but not a parallelogram. What's the rule for diagonals on a parallelogram? They bisect each other. Y'all, we got to know the rules. If you don't know those rules, you're going to be in trouble. So bisect means this piece equals that one, and then this equals that. So I know that before I start looking at the numbers.
So
It gives me AE and EC. Well, what did I just say about those two things? They're equal to each other. So all I've got to do is this one equals that one and solve that equation. So then I would plus 5,
26.
2x equals 26, divided by the 2,
13.
x equals 13. Coming over to the second one. What do I know about all these pieces in here?
that YV and VY, they're equal. XV and VZ is equal.
So I would know that. Use that information to solve that one for me. All right. I think some of us are missing this part of it. There's a reason I'm marking this stuff in here, so that I can see which parts are equal. XV is here, and then VZ is there. Well, what do I know about those two things?
Equal.
They're equal. So if those two things are equal, then these two expressions are equal. And I've got to put them equal to each other. Now I've got my equation and I can solve it. Some of us are putting it down not as an equation. If you don't have an equation, you can't solve anything. You've got to have the equal in there. So I get 2x equals 22 divided by 11. So what you're looking for is, does it give you the two pieces of one diagonal? If it does, they got to be equal to each other. All right, for this one, we said AE is what? Half or whole? That's halfway across. AC is all the way across. If I tried to do this, what would be wrong with that? What am I saying right here? This is the halfway part
You're trying to find
is equal to the whole thing. There's no way the halfway can equal the whole thing. All right?
So you have to.
I'm just going to throw some numbers in there. If I know that this is 10, how much is the whole thing?
20.
How did you get that?
Because they're both.
I took the halfway part and multiplied by 2. So that's the same thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to find whichever one is the small one and multiply by 2. Because if I multiply the halfway by 2, then that's going to give me the whole thing. And after that, you just solve the equation. Make sure you distribute both parts. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8.
24.
26, then.
Yeah. And you can also do it dividing the
All right,
34 in half.
I'm glad you said that. You could take the biggest one and divide by 2. The only problem I have with doing that is if this happens to be an odd number for some reason.
Then you're gonna be a decimal.
Then you would have to deal with the decimals all during the equation. But it will work, same way. All right, take care of the second one for me. All right, identify which one is the halfway. Is it the NL or the NP?
NL.
So the NL is my halfway. If that's the one that's half, that's the one that I'm gonna multiply by 2. Distribute it out. solve the equation. You get your answer. Are there any questions on that?